So in our previous lesson, we worked on simplifying rational expressions. And now we're going to work or continue that in multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So remember that to multiply two fractions, you multiply the numerators and the denominators, or you take the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So once all expressions are completely factored, very important that you have everything completely factored, you can simplify the expression and you can cross cancel. So for example, in this first example here, we've got just single terms. We've got monomials. We can do quite a bit of canceling. For example, the 8 and the 12, I can take a 4 out of each of those. The c squared, I can cross cancel with the c cubed to just leave c. The d and the d squared, I could cancel that to just leave d. 7 goes into 14 twice. 7 goes into 21 3 times. I can cancel one of these a's, and I can cancel the b's. Now, once everything is simplified, now I've cross-canceled, so I can also simplify. These 3's would cancel. Those 2's would cancel. And now we got a mess. But looking at what we have left on the top, we basically have A, C, D, putting those in alphabetical order. On the bottom, it appears that everything canceled. So my correct answer would be ACD over 1, which would just be ACD. Those are just monomial terms. Okay, here's another example. Now we've got a binomial, we have a couple trinomials here. But the first thing we're going to do is just look at it, see if anything cancels right away. If not, we're going to want to factor everything completely. So in this first example, I'm going to be taking out a 4. Remember, greatest common factor is always your first step. That leaves me with 2x minus 5. The x squared minus 7x minus 10, there's no common factor. It's not difference of squares or PST. So by trial and error, I would need I believe this needs to be a positive 10, otherwise that would not factor, but it'd be x minus 2 and x minus 5. Now on the bottom here, I've got x and x. Factors of 35, I need a positive 2, so I need a positive 7 and a minus 5. This one I can take out a 4, I'm left with x squared minus 4, which we should recognize that one. Violet, do you remember what that is? Yes, you are correct. That is difference of squares. And so it would be x and x minus 2 and plus 2. Well done. So now we can cross-cancel. So the 4's we could cancel. We could cancel the x minus 5's. We can also simplify. One of the x minus 2's would cancel. And now what am I left with? I'm left with 2x minus 5 all over x plus 7 times x plus 2. And that would be my final answer. All right, so dividing rational expressions, remember you multiply by the multiplicative inverse, which is also the reciprocal of the divisor, which also means you flip the second and you multiply. So remember in this example, we're going to flip the second, so I'm going to have 12 c to the 4th, d to the 2nd, over 40, a to the 4th, b to the 4th, times. Now I'm going to flip the second one, And now we basically have a multiplication problem. So I'm going to start cross-canceling. 6 goes into 12 twice. 4 goes into both of these 10 times. I've got c to the 4th c squared. I can cancel these. That's going to become c squared. This d squared would cancel. That's going to become d squared. A squared and a to the 4th. This would become a squared. The 2 and the 10, 1 and the 5. And now I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Let's see what we got left. On the top, it looks like we've got 4 and c cubed. On the bottom, I've got 5a squared b to the 4th d squared. 5a squared b to the 4th d squared. And that would be my final answer there. Next example, now we're dealing with some trinomials. So remember, you're going to flip the second and multiply. I'm going to do this a little bit different. So on this first one, I've got x and x. Both signs need to be negative, and 4 and 5 would work, giving me the negative 9x. Over here, I'm going to factor the x squared minus x minus 12. I'm going to move that to the bottom right away because I'm going to flip the second and multiply. I need to have one of each sign. I believe I need a negative 4 and a positive 3. This 6x plus 42 moves to the top. Take a 6 out and be left with x plus 7. This one here, I've got x and x. And looks like both signs are positive. 7 and 3 I think is going to work. And now I have this was a multiplication problem. I think we wanted that to be division. So I flipped that one already. And now I can cross cancel the x plus 7s, the x minus 4s. And that's it. So on the top I have 6 times x minus 5. And on the bottom I have x plus 3 times x plus 3. Which I could write like this. And it would be simplified. So I apologize for that, but that was originally a division problem. That's why I flipped the second and I multiplied. Here's some more examples. You're going to see a few of these on IXL. I'm just going to copy this video just so I don't run out of time, and I'll restart another video.